2 in the morning, your eyes open. You know the routine: covers back, feet on the cold floor, bathroom, back to bed. An hour later, it starts again. Nearly 40% of adults over 50 live this cycle every night. What most never consider is that a handful of pumpkin seeds eaten each evening for just 7 days may quietly change what's happening after dark. The reason starts with something most people overlook. The International Continence Society defines this nightly disruption as nocturia, waking to pass urine during your main sleep period, with sleep both before and after the event. It is a symptom rather than a disease, but its impact is deeply felt. While a single nightly trip meets the official definition, waking up 2 or more times is where the physical and mental toll truly begins. This is about more than a full bladder. It is about the lost rhythm of a night. Waking up repeatedly fragments sleep, leaving adults over 50 facing persistent daytime fatigue, frustration, and anxiety about falling back asleep. Navigating a dark home while drowsy also increases the risk of dangerous falls. Consider Ellen, a 63-year-old grandmother. She represents so many who quietly manage this cycle. Ellen notes, "I'm awake long enough to lose the night, but not long enough to feel rested." Her ordinary route to the bathroom has become physically exhausting. Even her husband lies awake, his own sleep disrupted by the sound of her footsteps and the constant worry that she might trip in the dark. Waking up multiple times a night stems from several distinct physiological pathways. 2 people with the exact same number of bathroom trips might be experiencing completely separate bodily processes. For many adults 65 and older, the issue is nocturnal polyuria, where more than 1/3 of the total 24-hour urine output is produced at night. This is distinct from global polyuria, where the body overproduces urine constantly throughout the day and night, often driven by underlying blood sugar issues. Alternatively, the bladder's storage capacity might be reduced by prostate changes or an overactive bladder, creating a frequent, urgent need to empty. Evening habits like late fluid intake, caffeine, or alcohol also contribute, as do certain prescribed medications. Even physical posture plays a role. When lying down to sleep, fluid that accumulated in the legs during the day redistributes back into the bloodstream, signaling the kidneys to begin filtration. At other times, sleep-disordered breathing or chronic insomnia can cause a person to awaken first, choosing to urinate simply because they are already awake. Because these pathways are so diverse, clinical guidelines show that guessing is ineffective. A proper evaluation relies on a medical history, a medication review, and a frequency volume chart, a multi-day bladder diary tracking fluid intake and output. This systematic record helps isolate the true driver. While nighttime trips are common in older adults, they are not inevitable, and a sudden change in your pattern warrants professional clinical attention rather than simple dismissal as a normal part of aging. Pumpkin seeds are a familiar, widely available whole food. They are highly affordable, shelf-stable, and easy to fit into any daily routine. In their raw, unsalted form, these seeds are naturally packed with plant-based protein, fiber, and healthy unsaturated fats, alongside minerals like magnesium and zinc. It is important, however, to choose raw or dry-roasted, unsalted varieties. Pre-packaged salted seeds can dramatically increase your daily sodium intake, altering the nutritional balance you want to support. For generations, folk traditions have relied on pumpkin seeds to promote urinary comfort. This gentle, food-based wisdom fits naturally with a thoughtful approach to wellness. In Scripture, Psalm 139 reminds us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, while 1 Corinthians describes the body as a temple. This biblical view of stewardship is not about a rigid prescription or a search for instant miraculous cures. Instead, it invites moderation, consistent care, and a respect for natural elements. This perspective guided Ellen to change her approach. She stopped searching for an overnight miracle and focused on building a manageable daily habit. Adding pumpkin seeds to her evening was a simple, practical choice, a modest food routine she could easily keep up without disrupting her life. Scientific studies paint a very specific picture of how pumpkin seeds interact with our bodies. It helps to look at what the research actually measures, because eating a handful of raw seeds is not the same as taking a laboratory-standardized supplement. Clinical trials on pumpkin seeds typically use concentrated preparations, such as cold-pressed pumpkin seed oil, hydroethanolic extracts, or multi-ingredient formulas. These studies generally last 8 to 12 weeks and some, like the large German study of over 1,400 men, continue for a full year. These research projects examine broad lower urinary tract symptoms and benign prostatic hyperplasia, rather than isolating nighttime urination as a single endpoint. Because of these differences in dose and preparation, the findings do not directly transfer to an ordinary food habit. Registered dietitians emphasize that we cannot automatically apply the results of a multi-week clinical extract trial to a brief whole food habit. Standardized extracts concentrate active elements to promote smooth muscle relaxation in the bladder wall, or offer anti-inflammatory support in ways raw seeds cannot replicate in a few days. Currently, no verified, high-quality human study establishes that a 7-day whole seed habit treats nighttime urination. A short trial of eating whole seeds is an observational self-experiment, not a randomized controlled trial. Any shift you experience over a week might be due to natural variations in your body, your expectations, or other altered behaviors, such as cutting back on evening fluids. This is why a 7-day trial is not presented as a guaranteed medical treatment. It is simply a safe, nutritional habit that may be worth exploring, leaving the final answer to your own careful, personal observation. A structured 7-day self-observation begins with a clear baseline. For 2 or 3 nights, track your usual pattern without changing a single habit, recording bedtime, evening fluids, and nighttime awakenings. On the 3rd night, introduce 1 ounce of raw or dry roasted unsalted pumpkin seeds into your early evening, perhaps starting with a smaller portion if digestive tolerance is a concern. Keep other daily habits and prescribed medications exactly the same. For the next 7 consecutive days, log your sleep quality, digestive reactions, and bathroom trips in a daily journal. Because waking up in the dark carries real safety risks, always ensure your path is well lit, clear of clutter, and that you wear stable footwear. Follow this routine consistently. When Ellen kept her diary, she resisted declaring an early victory. She quietly noted her patterns through day 7, asking a simple, honest question. Did the seeds change her night, or did the structured routine change her? On day 8, compare your baseline average with your 7-day intervention average, rather than focusing on a single good or bad night. Look at these numbers alongside evening fluids, sleep quality, and normal night-to-night variation. If you notice fewer awakenings, remember this suggests an association, not proven causation. Even finding no change is valuable information. Ellen's diary, for example, showed a few quieter nights, but no permanent shift once evening fluids varied. Above all, safety comes first. If nighttime urination is persistent, worsening, or accompanied by pain, blood, fever, unusual thirst, leg swelling, or difficulty starting your stream, seek medical evaluation immediately. Always consult a physician or pharmacist if you have seed allergies, digestive sensitivity, or kidney conditions with potassium limits. This experiment is for personal observation, not medical diagnosis or treatment. True wellness is rarely about quick fixes. It begins when we listen to our bodies and steward our health with intention. Even a simple seed can invite us to live more mindfully. How do you practice daily stewardship? Let us know in the comment.